Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
Communications are tough as riots continue in Egypt.
Alberta's provincial government is in need of new leaders.
Albertans to take our party into the future.
Edmontonians now have a new winter festival to attend each year.
The future is very bright for this city, and I'm a big fan.
Good evening. Political unrest and daily protests are a world away for most Canadians.
But the impact of the protests has also affected some locals here in Edmonton. Our Mike Baden joins us live from our news center with more on that story.
It began about a week ago when protests broke out in Egypt, and to many Egyptian Canadians, it's been a frustrating and terrifying time. Many flights have been canceled, and people are unable to leave the country if they want to. And these Edmontonians are trying to help out as much as they can here from home. Mohammed Al-Madni enters videos and messages on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter every day. With the internet temporarily cut off in Egypt this week, the messages are now used for more than just the people back home.
So they cannot see that's very true, but people here can see it. So people around the world, other than Egypt specifically, can see what we're doing in order to support our country.
Dozens of members of the public.
Egyptian Canadians like Mohammed and friends have been rallying all week across the country, trying to get any information on the crisis there and the safety of friends and loved ones.
It's something unethical happened. To cut off the internet connection, cell phones, landlines, it's something like unethical. What you are trying to hide.
Facebook is one of the few sources left, and these Edmontonians now know that more than 100 Egyptians have been killed in the protesting.
It's a news channel on Facebook that updates every maybe second even, whenever there is news that comes from people on the ground.
President Hosni Mubarak has vowed to step down at the end of his term in September, but Manal El-Husseini feels that it's too late and more blood will be shed as everyday protests continue with the 30-year serving president still in power.
I don't think it's a viable option. I don't think it's an option that most Egyptians are looking for or are willing to concede to.
Rallying is expected to continue in the coming months in Egypt and other parts around the world.
How have the communication levels been so far this week, Mike?
The cell phones and landlines did get cut off earlier in the week but are now back in service, but the Egyptians still have the constant fear that they can be shut off at any time.
As for Canadians still in Egypt, is there a word on how many are still stuck in Egypt and when they'll be able to come home?
Yes, there still is around 6,000 Canadians in Egypt. Some of them do have flights planned for Paris, London, and Frankfurt in the coming days. There was also a group of school kids, about 173 of them, that were supposed to go to Egypt in spring break in March, but that plan is now canceled and they're looking for an alternative route.
Thanks, Mike. That's Mike Baden reporting live from our news center tonight.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, your next generation of news.
Students face a lot of challenges while attending post-secondary. Moving away from home and finding their own accommodations can be a hassle to some students.
But the CATES group is proposing the idea of a university village which would make housing available to all students at major post-secondary institutions in Edmonton.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here on 104th, and if the plans for the student housing development are approved, we might be seeing a very different background in the coming years.
The University Village is a student housing development which is proposed to go just down the street from Grant MacEwan. This location would provide a convenient option for students who would now be able to get part-time jobs from the businesses in this area, as well as shorten the travel time to and from school for those students that may currently be living on the other side of the city.
Because then I could just walk to NAIT, I could go home and I wouldn't have to wait for the bus for a long time, and I probably could sleep in more.
Another major concern, aside from commute times for students, are students who come to Edmonton's post-secondary schools from other countries. Ritu Minocha, administrative support at NAIT, believes this student housing will be very beneficial to the international students here in Edmonton.
Most of them are looking for housing near and around NAIT so that they can travel and come on to their classes on time. And it is their major problem for them to find housing for them, especially international students when they come from abroad.
Currently in the city, the University of Alberta as well as Grant MacEwan offer student housing. Right now, students and residents can choose from bachelor and 2- and 4-bedroom shared suites. The proposed university village would also offer students a chance to rent condos and apartments.
If approved, this student housing would help eliminate a lot of the stress that most students go through after moving away for the first time, as well as present them with opportunities that they wouldn't receive otherwise.
Thanks, Kendall. That's Kendall Guiney reporting from downtown. It's been an interesting couple of weeks in provincial politics after two party leaders stepped down. Alberta Liberal leader David Swan has announced his resignation. He believes the Liberal Party is ready to tackle the next provincial election without him.
It's the right time for a new leader and a new generation of Albertans to take our party into the future.
Critics say that David Swan and the Liberal Party have been struggling the last couple of months, even before his resignation.
I think he was effective in putting forward ideas. He obviously wasn't as effective in getting traction in terms of the public polls.
Last week, Premier Ed Stelmach announced he will not be running for this upcoming election. And although Dave Hancock says he won't be stepping up for the position, former Finance Minister Ted Morton, as well as former Deputy Doug Horner, announced their intention to run for the job.
A new project has been announced to help Edmonton's less fortunate. Boyle Street Community Service have contracted a new outreach project to help those who are struggling in the streets.
This initiative is not a quick fix to move people off the street. This is the beginning of a process of talking to people and addressing their needs.
Also involved with the Downtown Street Outreach is the Edmonton Police Service and the Edmonton Police Foundation, who are funding the project.
I'm looking to start dealing with some of the core issues, poverty, addictions, and we're expecting to see a betterment in the behavior.
The outreach is looking to change the lives of 25% of the street people within the year.
A program launched this week may save lives this icy winter season. The Finding Balance campaign focuses on the prevention of falls and general awareness that seniors should have this winter season.
We'd like to see that the seniors are more aware not only of things that they can do with regard to when they're moving around, but things that they can do when they talk to their doctors.
The Multicultural Women's and Service Association was happy to host the campaign, featuring exhibits and live demonstrations.
If we could achieve a 20% reduction in falls over the next 10 years, that would be huge in terms of costs and the quality of life improvement for seniors.
Members of Alberta Injury Control Research and Medical Association have teamed up for the program.
An Edmonton police constable is this year's top cop for outstanding volunteer work with disabled athletes. In addition to her police work, Amanda Trenchard has coached soccer, worked with the Special Olympics for years, and has an amazing reputation for motivating kids.
She is a kind soul who puts her whole heart into everything she does, and in particular to her wonderful volunteer work.
Amanda has been inspiration to many people and nearly doubled the amount of kids participating in the Special Olympics through inspiration.
Thank you for your time, thank you for your dedication, and thank you for giving back to the community in so many ways.
Roger Gratton and Megan Sander are two soccer players who Amanda has left a huge impression on.
It's Black History Month, and the TU Gallery is featuring local artists this month. 5 Artists, One Love is a visual feast at the TU Gallery, showcasing local Black artists within the community.
I ensure that the people that are part of the show are local, their styles are different, and they have different backgrounds.
The 5 Artists, One Love event has grown larger each year and will be held for the 4th time between February 5th and 19th.
For me, it's an opportunity just to reflect on the contributions that Black people have made in society throughout history.
There will be many other exhibits and musical events also featured.
A few select NAIT architectural students were given the chance of a lifetime on Wednesday. The Canadian Western Bank is undergoing a structural makeover and is choosing NAIT students to take part in the designing process.
Well, our branch is basically bursting at the seams. We're going to need more space, so we're looking for a new design for a new branch.
The contest was narrowed down from almost 100 participants down to the top 10 on Wednesday. The gala invited finalists to check out all the entries, and the first place winner, Michelle, was revealed.
It was a really great experience, and it was very interesting. It's a lot different than what I expected when I first came into this program. So.
Canadian Westerns hope to unveil the upgrades in the next 2 years. The city's snow cleanup has not gone as planned.
Mayor Mandel steps up to address the problem.
We should have moved in quicker.
For Alberta students, meningitis vaccines and prevention is back in the spotlight.
Coming up in sports, I learned how to throw a proper strike.
The City Council has promised to have the streets completely plowed by this weekend.
Mayor Mandel admits the city's snow removal policy needs an adjustment. Mayor Stephen Mandel has recently apologized for the delay in snow removal and admits that it should have been dealt a little sooner.
We should have moved in quicker, and we should have done what we're doing now, is remove the snow down to the pavement.
One problem that still remains is the large amount of snowbanks or windrows left on the roads.
For us to go through and remove all the windrows would probably take a month. It's never been in our plans to remove windrows from neighborhood. It's never there.
Boudelier did mention that the windrows around stop signs will be removed to help with visibility.
You know, it's been pretty warm this week, which I am excited about.
I know, and I'm hoping it stays that way. Graham, what's it looks like in the upcoming week?
Yeah, we're getting over a nicer weather week, but with all that warm weather, it's kind of slushed up the snow. And unfortunately, this week with the lower temperatures and the fresh layer of snow, Monday's kind of looking ugly for traffic. In Calgary on Monday, there's going to be a low of -15, high of -8, cloudy, 60% chance of snow. In Jasper, a low of -16, high of -8, partly cloudy, 10% chance of snow. Fort McMurray, a low of -21, high of -12. Sunny, 10% chance of snow. And here in Edmonton is going to be a cold low of -19, high of -14, partly cloudy, 10% chance of more snow. And even if it doesn't snow, it is looking to be pretty bad for the streets, so maybe stay home if you don't need to go out in traffic. Looking at records, the average high for February 7th is -4, average low is -14, record low is -41 in 1936, and record high is +13 in 1954.
Weather for NAIT NewsWatch is sponsored by NR92.
Yeah, this week is going to look pretty bad, and hopefully it's going to get better later, because the streets just are terrible to drive on now.
So basically, don't pack up my winter jacket up yet.
Yeah, it's going to be really chilly.
Well, Graham, I won't be wearing my heels outside, that's for sure.
Thanks, Graham.
Thank you. The province has launched a $2 million immunization program for 40,000 students to fight against several forms of meningitis.
For many people, it's a reminder of the severity of the disease.
For many college students and staff, meningitis is the last of their health concerns. But recent action against the disease may prove different.
But I do know people who were affected by meningitis, and it's frightening, absolutely frightening. So I'm glad it's in the news now, and hopefully something can be done about it.
For some, meningitis is still fresh in the mind, but for many, the disease is far from their concerns.
I had my shot a few years ago when they had a meningitis outbreak, so no, not concerned at all.
The new immunization program is aimed at grade 9 students throughout the province. The new vaccine protects against 4 different strains of the disease, including Type C, the strain which caused the outbreak in 2000 and 2001, where 9 people died. In the past 10 years, there have been over 260 cases of meningitis, with 26 deaths within the province. But there are everyday things that people can do to avoid contracting the virus.
Hand washing, and also not sharing, and in this instance it's shared or it spreads by contact with saliva. And so by not sharing lip balms, water bottles, straws, cigarettes, that helps a lot.
Just some of the main meningitis symptoms include high fever, stiff or sore neck, and severe headache. symptoms in which are often mistaken for the common headache or cold. Health officials urge people to contact their doctor if experiencing these symptoms. Just in the past month, 2 cases of bacterial meningitis were confirmed in the city, a sign that the battle is not yet over.
So, Liz, Dallin, Super Bowl on Sunday. Are you excited?
Packers versus Steelers, how can you not?
Definitely going to crack a beer for this one. I can't say either team is one of my favorites, but definitely going to go for Green Bay on this one. Got all that coming up in sports. Being a professional lacrosse player isn't always about scoring goals and big hits. Team members, including Captain Brody Merrill of the Edmonton Rush, had the opportunity to visit sick children at the Ronald McDonald House this past week.
Representing the city of Edmonton and our community, we like to get involved, and especially with something, as meaningful as this.
Rookies like Keto Hill and John LaFontaine also attended the event. Ronald McDonald House has been providing affordable temporary housing for families with serious ill children traveling to Edmonton for critical medical treatment since 1985. After winning the ACAC championship 2 years in a row, the NAIT Ooks badminton team is gearing up for another one this season. With a solid team and plenty of experience, the Ooks are excited for another goal.
This year is probably the best badminton team NAIT's ever had here. We've got Dan Kai, who's won 2 national championships. Sun Young's won a national championship and 3 national medals. Okay. And the team's repeating, coming off 2 ACC gold championships. And all those players are back.
Next up for the team is the final regular season tournament at Red Deer College this weekend. The team will then travel to Mount Royal University for nationals qualifying and the ACAC team championship on February 12th and 13th. Nationals will take place at Mount Allison University in Sackville, New Brunswick, March 3rd to the 5th. Edmonton Eskimo fans may have been disappointed with last season's results, but with continuous upgrading during the off-season, fans have a reason to look forward to the 2011 season. Fans will be able to keep the number 15 green and gold jersey, with Ricky Ray signing a 3-year extension on his contract as quarterback for the Eskimos. Ricky Ray led Edmonton to 3 Grey Cups during his 8-year career.
By anyone's estimation, is the best quarterback in the league. You need your best player at the most important position, and having him now on board and with us until 2013 is a very, very important part of what Eric Tillman and Kavis Reed are trying to do here.
With new additions like defensive back Donovan Alexander, who spent his last 2 seasons with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Eskimos are continuously making the necessary changes for the upcoming season. It's one of the most biggest and most televised sporting events in the world, and Edmontonians are hopping on the bandwagon for tomorrow's 45th annual Super Bowl, which will take place in Dallas, Texas.
Hello.
Fans all over the city are getting ready to cheer for their team and are not afraid to reach into their pockets for the latest NFL gear.
Always want to come and grab their jerseys. It's always a bandwagon time for fans. The 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, when you know the final 2 teams, yeah, you always prepare for their fans to come in hordes and buy everything they can in their team's colors.
Again, if we can judge anything from the way that the playoffs rolled through, just for the NFL playoffs there, how they've done, and as games, less and less teams got on, we really were finding that there were big groups of people showing up and sporting their team colors.
Hudson's is one of many bars in the city that will be throwing a Super Bowl party. For this week's End Zone Challenge, I decided I would learn the proper techniques involved in bowling.
Putting on a pair of bowling shoes is just part of the whole experience. Turns out there is actually a lot of history involved.
A lot of people actually don't know really what bowling, what's required in bowling. People think it's something easy that they're just going to take a ball and throw it down the lane. So could you explain to us a little bit about like maybe a little technique and why we wear the shoes? I think most people know bowling for its shoes. So why do we wear them?
Well, basically to protect your feet and the lanes. The lanes are made of a maple, and there's just a little bit of finish on these, so you want the leather on the bottom of the shoe so you get that little slide.
Well, there's no time like the present, so I put on my stylish rental bowling shoes and was ready to learn. There I met Katie, the owner's daughter, who proceeded to give me a quick lesson on how to actually hold a small bowling ball. I guess the fear of getting my finger stuck went out the window. She also told me the proper steps to take when approaching the lane. It was then I realized how easy professional bowlers actually make it look on TV.
I think I'm going to try and use those skills next time I bowl. I think both of you guys have shed a little bit of light on the true sport of bowling. So yeah, that's End Zone Challenge. I'm Elizabeth O'Gallus.
So Liz, did you get a strike?
I got just one. That was it.
Thanks, Liz.
Coming up after the break, we go out for the Heart and Stroke Foundation.
The foundation is one of the most successful volunteer-based charities.
We're volunteering for the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Do you feel like giving a donation today?
Coming up after the break in entertainment.
兔年祝大家万事如意.
What he said.
The Heart and Stroke Foundation is one of the most successful volunteer-based programs in Canada.
Jimmy and I took on the challenge of a heart and stroke volunteer asking for donations in the neighborhood.
Let's go with that one.
We went door to door with our speech, brochures, and a smile, but unfortunately things weren't looking too promising at first.
Hi there.
Hi there. We're volunteering for the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Do you feel like giving a donation today?
No.
No?
After a few rejections, some people were willing to make contributions towards the $6 million that the foundation hopes to achieve this month from all the volunteers. And down, there's a lot going on in entertainment in Edmonton this week.
And Brad Hamilton has more of that in entertainment.
Electronica and alternative fans from across Alberta gathered this past weekend for the Freezing Man Festival at the Edmonton Expo Centre. The event was the first ever winter festival in Canada and brought over 3,000 people through the doors in the one-day event. Chaos, Chromeo, Broken Social Scene, and Major Lazer were just some of the big names to headline the festival. The event saw 3 stages put to use throughout the day. Co-creator Michael Gaiman has loved the city since coming here from Los Angeles.
It's clean, it's safe, friendly people, and it's, you know, like one of the great undiscovered jewels of 21st century, you know, very modern city, undiscovered jewels of 21st century planet Earth. So I think it's, you know, the future is very bright for this city, and I'm a big fan.
Having been the manager for Jefferson Starship, Gaiman has experienced success firsthand. We can only hope that the success from this event will generate interest from around North America and make it an even larger festival in years to come.
Thank you very much, Edmonton. You guys have been beautiful tonight.
The success of the Freezing Man is a result of more than just the great artists that were a part of it. It was also the first festival in the world to run all the rides entirely off of vegetable oil. Sustainava was a concept put together by Joey Hundred to be able to make amusement parks green and cleaner for the environment. He's been very pleased with how the festival has turned out so far and can see positive reactions from people who go on the rides.
11 out of 10. It's been intense. Everybody that's ridden on the rides so quickly gets that they're running on renewable energy. They really get that it's running on vegetable oil, they're running on wind. They know that it's the harbinger of innovation. It's the harbinger of a sustainable age.
Initial plans were for the festival to feature a full-sized Ferris wheel. However, with the festival moving indoors, they were limited for spacing. It didn't move people from having a good time during the festival, as there is a constant line for the Gravitron and the swings. You can look for Joey and the Sustainable crew to have more involvement in more festivals in the near future. Some of the top photographers that NAIT has to offer gathered on Wednesday night to reflect back on the achievements over the past 2 years. Second-year technology students put together a thesis that was presented to other students, friends, family, and the general public. For the students, it's an opportunity to express their style through how they see photos and to show off their work to the community.
It's like every time I look at a photo personally, I always look for texture within a photo.
So I wanted to depict it in the thesis I picked.
Hopefully just going to assist with another photographer for a couple of years, just to get the feel of things, and then hopefully open my own portrait studio sometime soon.
The creative angles from the students range from portraits to boudoir. On the Chinese calendar, February 3rd marks the start of a new Lunar New Year. Known as the Spring Festival in China, it also marks the start of a 15-day celebration that ends with the Lantern Festival. Each of the 15 days has a special significance. There's also 12 different animals in the Chinese calendar, and this year is represented by the rabbit.
Very good one, because rabbits represent like smart and fast and moving fast. Everything like just say, yeah, hoping for the new year, so everyone just have a lot of energy, do things quick, and don't just stay the same spot. Now keep moving forward.
For those born on a previous rabbit year, this also represents a year of good fortune for you. Now, when I say YouTube sensation, naturally you'd think of Keenan Cahill. All right, me neither. Personally, I think of Justin Bieber. This international superstar has his first movie coming out February 11th. Here's a preview for you right now.
My name is Justin. This is how I go.
The YouTube sensation that started in small town Ontario. He's had the ultimate rise to celebrity status.
I've been a fan of him from when he posted his first video, and I'll be his fan till he posts his last video.
This is the story of a teenage heartthrob that Scooter Braun discovered and is giving everyone Bieber fever.
He's 16 and he's doing it all on his own.
Started a joint venture with Usher.
The first time we met, he almost passed me by.
His first 2 albums went platinum in the United States.
He's such an inspiration. He came from like such a small town, and it gives us hope.
I think to myself, I was once chilling in my room just in a regular place, and now I'm in this big world. It's just crazy how it all came around.
He's living an extraordinary life, but it's just like you or me.
And now you can experience the story of Justin Bieber in Real D 3D.
There's gonna be times where people tell you that you can't live your dreams. This is what I tell them.
Justin Bieber, never say never. That's it for This Week in Entertainment.
That's all we have for tonight.
That's NAIT NewsWatch.